In today's video, I will show you how to make fingerless gloves. So to begin, you need to tie a slip knot. And we're gonna use just regular knitting needles. Make 30 stitches. And that's the first row with the 30 stitches. Now I'm gonna wrap the yarn around my neck from right to left, and the left hand will hold the working yarn, and I will wrap a few times the yarn about the finger, the middle finger, so I have easier way this way to pull and hold the given tension when I'm knitting. At this point, I'll start knitting one single and one purl and one knit. Stitch, and then I will keep repeating until the end of the row. The way to do the purl stitch is like this, and the knit stitch. From forward, the yarn is on the front, like this, and take it out. For the second stitch, the yarn is on the back of my hook, if you forgot if you did purl or a knit stitch, you can just see they look a little different. One of them look like with a little wrap on top, and the other one it's like this. So this way you can check what is the next stitch that you have to be doing. Or you can use a marker, like stitch markers. And that's the end of the row. From here we switch to the other side and continue with the same pattern. One purl, one knit, and we're gonna use only this pattern to the end of the brim, so I'll let you know when we reach there. So this is the glove so far. At this point I knitted 3 inches of purl and knit stitches, just rotating one purl, one knit, 1 purl, 1 knit. And now I would like to change color and continue with the same pattern of stitches. So I'm switching to white. And my first stitch is purl. So to do the purl stitch, I put the hook from the side on the front and I take it to the back. For the knit stitch, I go on the opposite side, put it like this, and I take it to the front. Move the yarn to the front and do the purl stitch. And now the knit. When I do the purl stitch, my needle is going from back to forth, and I take it on the back. When I do the knit stitch, my needle is going on the opposite side, and I take the needle to the front, and then again purl, knit. I will be doing 2 inches of white color. I will knit 2 inches white color, and then we'll continue with the pink one again with the same way, rotating purl and knit. And when I'm done, I'll show you the rest of the pattern. So from my fingerless gloves, I already have 3 inches of pink and 2 inches of white stripe, and now I will do another 3.5 inches of pink, still the same pattern. So that's the end of my brim, and by using a purl and knit stitches, this is kind of very stretchable. I would like to say that I'm making this fingerless gloves for a teen, but they're stretchable and very soft, so they can perfectly fit adult. So at this point I got total of 7.75 inches or 19.5 centimeters for the brim, as one of my daughters required them to be kind of long. So from here I'll start doing the actual glove. So from this row on, we continue with the pink yarn, and the only stitch we're gonna do is 1 purl, 1 knit stitch, 1 row purl, and the next row will be only knit stitch, and this will be almost to the end of the pattern. Let me show you. So I start doing the first with purl, the whole row will be only purl stitches, When you do this, try to do it with even tension, so all of your stitches gonna look the same. So from this point on, that's the way the back of the glove is gonna look like, purl stitches. And the front, we are going to knit with the knit stitches. By doing it this way. Back and take it to the front. And that's the way the knit stitch is done. Only knit stitches on this side. For the whole row, when you're done with this row, you switch hands and you hold this with the left hand and you do purl stitches only. So this will be the face and this will be the back of the glove. So after the brim, I count 8 rows. And then I switch to white cover for another stripe of white. I'm gonna do 2 rows of white, 2 pink, and again 2 more rows of white. And the rest of the pattern will be only pink. So this is my first row of white. Then I'll switch to pink, and then another 2 rows of white, and the rest will be only pink. So I'm done with 2 more white stripes and 1 pink in the middle. Now I'm gonna do 1 more pink row and then a few more rows for the edge, for the brim and the finger of the glove, and then we'll be done. So 1 more row of pink, with the knit stitch, and the next 4 rows, I think 4 or maybe 5, will be for the brim. So now I start with the brim. I do 1 purl, flip the yarn on the back, and then a knit, yarn on the front, purl stitch, yarn on the back, a knit stitch, and I'll continue with this for 4 rows, and then we're gonna finish after the brim, the last row. So at this point I'm finished with the fingerless glove with the brim and everything. The only thing I have to do is the top, the thumb finger. So my whole glove is 11 inches and a quarter, or 28.5 centimeters long, 18 centimeters wide, or 7 inches. I'll show you how to finish the last row on the glove, and then with the needle I'll connect both of the sides. You go with the needle from right to left as if you're doing the purl stitch. You wrap the yarn and take it through both stitches on the back, and then you just slip the stitches. You put that stitch on the next needle, and then you do the same from right to left. Wrap the thread around the yarn, take the stitch to the back and slip both of the stitches, and return the stitch back to the previous needle, and again. In this part I'm gonna cut the yarn, the thread, and just sew on the side, on the inside like this, leaving a small hole for the finger about here, and then we'll continue with the video for the finger. So here's the first fingerless glove. I have here a little hole where I'm gonna do like a few rows to finish the finger, but you can definitely leave it like this and just use it the way it is. So I'm gonna flip the glove on the inside, and around the hole for the finger I will take some stitches out with my needle. there is like a little V shape. Each stitch looks kind of like this. So you pick two of this and you're gonna make one stitch out of it. And then the next one. At this point you should have something that looks like that. From the stitches that we picked, they're kind of like double threaded stitches. And we're gonna start knitting from here now. So since I'm working on the inside, I will be using the purl stitch, which is this one. And I'll make one loop out of each of these threads that is on my needle. It might be a little bit hard to do this because you work in a circle, but you can split the stitches into three and move the needles around as you do it. And it's also hard because some of the stitches are a bit tight. So here I got 6 stitches from the first side. Now I'm gonna move this needle here. And I will release these stitches so I can use that needle as a working one. And we'll continue with the stitches. I guess I missed a stitch here, so I'll put that one on the needle too. You can use your fingers to keep it in place. Just for this row, for the next few rows it's gonna be easier. And in the end I have 3 stitches. I'm gonna split them and I'm gonna do first one of those and then the next 2. So out of this I got 14 loops, 14 stitches. So now I will move again the needle just about halfway, 6 stitches on the needle. The other needle is on the other side empty, and in the middle I have 7 stitches. So this side is going to be the outside of the glove, and I'll start doing a little bit of the brim here just for the finger. So the first stitch will be purl stitch, the next would be knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit stitch. And again, I'm gonna move the needles on this side. Since here I have 7 stitches and on the opposite side I did get 6 stitches, I will do 1 decrease. The first stitch is knit stitch, since my last was purl. Instead of getting 1 stitch, I'll get 2 stitches like this, and I will knit them like 1, and that's how you decrease when you knit. And I will continue as with the purl stitch. Knit, purl, knit, and we'll end this with the purl stitch. And here we are going to knit exactly in this pattern for 3 to 4 more rows before we finish the finger. So that's the second row since I picked up the stitches, the second full knitted row, and the coming stitch is a purl stitch. Purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit. And that's the second row. Now I'll start the third row. By moving around the needles again, so it's easier to knit. And the coming stitch is a knit stitch. Knit, purl, knit, and a purl stitch. And now I start on the last row, and the coming stitch would be a knit stitch. And after I finish the whole row, I'll show you how to end the edge of the finger on the glove. And those are the last 3 stitches for my 4 rows, which is kind of like 5 with the first row that I pick with the needles to scoop out the stitches out of it. So I'm gonna move again the needles. and end this row, which kind of looks like decreasing a little bit. You pick 2 stitches, I'm gonna do all the row with the purl stitch since I'm working on the inside of the yarn, inside of the glove. Pick the 2 stitches and release from the needle, then move the working stitch back on the first needle, get 2 stitches on the next hook, wrap the yarn and do the purl stitch. Again, put this stitch back on the first needle, knit through both of the stitches that follow with the purl stitch, and then again and that's halfway done. I'm gonna do the other half and I'll show you how the glove looks like in a second. And that's the last stitch on the finger. At this point I'm gonna cut the thread. We'll put it through the loop and tie it like this. And now move it on the back of the glove so I can tie it here. I like to split both of the ends and tie a little knot on the back of the glove. So again, I'm gonna move this side of the thread one more loop on the back and we'll tie it like this. Trying to get the knot as close as I can to the yarn, to the glove. And that's it. Our fingerless glove is done. That's how it looks on the back. And that's what it looks like when I flip it on the other side. This is how it looks on my head. I would like to mention, since I pick up the stitches around the finger, I probably missed a stitch like here. There is a little bit of a bigger hole. You can sew this by hand if you have like bigger holes like this, or you can try to avoid it by not missing a stitch like me. And here's the finished product with the magic of doing everything on camera. I'm done with both of the gloves. This is how they're gonna look like. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like to support my channel, please give a like, subscribe, or comment. Thank you for watching.